Anyway, you guys can go. Whatever you want to go.
All right,
rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Yeah, we're
I'll
just
make
rolling.
sure to start with Ron asking who he is.
It's really really laissez-faire. Well, now I'm having some fun with these 1-minute plays here, getting my cast together. But who are you, and what were you thinking?
Well, my name's Dominic D'Andrea. I'm the founder. Where am I looking, by the way?
Just look at me.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. If you want to make
Unprofessional.
Okay, so
if you want to
we'll
make a
just do
point
this.
if you want to make a point to the audience, like don't miss this show. They got
Yeah,
3
well,
times.
don't miss this show.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah.
We'll move over here. That you can kind of look more at Ron and.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. So anyway, let's hear an accounting for yourself here, Dominic.
I'm Dominic D'Andrea. I'm the producing artistic director of the 1 Minute Play Festival, and we're here in Anchorage working with Perseverance Theater for a second year.
This is pretty cool. Now, you developed this quite some time ago, right?
Yeah, this is a festival we started in New York about almost 10 years ago now, and it was never intended to be a national project. It was something we did with our friends in New York for an artistic challenge.
Oh, great.
And over the years, it grew in popularity. And when we started working in a way about 5 years in, that was about an examination of community topics and ideas. We started getting invited from my friends that are producers and artistic directors of different theaters around the country, invited me in to make this with their community. So we grew from 1 city to 6 cities to 10 cities, and now we have over 24 national partnerships. And TCG, I think, claimed last year that we were the largest and longest running, consistently running theater festival in the United States.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we have over 1,000 playwrights, famous, emerging, and in between. We've produced tens of thousands of 1 Minute plays and have had thousands of participants nationwide, and we tend to return to the cities year after year. So we sort of plant a seed and return to investigate the topics in the communities year after year.
Man, this is incredible. So what started out as kind of a fun thing to do with friends has become like, well, it's a full-time job.
Full-time thing.
Incredible. What a great gig.
Yeah, it's cool.
You just travel around and help people put up their plays.
Yeah, you know, we look at it as investing in a community. So we're looking at this work. What's so unique about the 1 Minute Play Festival is it's so much more about the group than it is an individual. So the whole frame of this work is to look at connections, themes, ideas, trends that emerge in the zeitgeist. So if I'm writing and you're writing, the trends and ideas and the things that you might write about individually in a vacuum, someone else might write about the same thing in a vacuum. So our job is to sort of encapsulate and sort of highlight what those connections are and reflect them back. So there can be like 10 plays about one topic and 10 plays about another topic, and they're totally organic. And if we're really looking at those connections and we're really seeing what they are, we have an opportunity to really say something about who we are in this moment, what's important to us, where we might be going, and what that says about who we are right now. So it's sort of like a living artifact, or kind of like, we use the metaphor of a core sample, like sticking this thing in the earth and looking at the cross-section of dirt and seeing what's in the dirt, you know?
That's interesting. So, and I'm sure every different city that you open has its own kind of topicality for the issue of the time.
Every single city, every single year is completely different. There's a couple themes that we might see that are like national or just sort of in the national zeitgeist, but you know, usually it's really specific to those local cultures. And I think what that says is that theater, culture, America is a really locally specific thing, even though maybe we sort of see this homogeneous sort of corporate thing that links us all together, but really local cultures are very unique. This country's very vast.
Yeah, it's got to be real interesting. And talking about that as a core sample, I mean, you could almost go back over the years and pick out, because you do tape these. Yeah. Pick out one tape and say, here's what was going on in Minneapolis at the time.
We do that, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
We do track what's being said over the years.
Wow, that's fun. It's almost like a sociological experiment at the same time.
It is. We actually say that, like in our language, we say we're part play festival and part sort of community convening. So we're taking the opportunity to make some work together and also to dig in with each other about what's going on.
God, what an exciting gig you accidentally found for yourself. What fun. I can't imagine what would be more fun than that. I mean, I know you work your butt off, too.
Yeah, it's you know, one of those gigs where, for us, you know, we have a small staff. We were very, very underfunded. The other side of the kicker is being considered to be one of the largest theater festivals in the country or whatever. We have no budget because we give all of our money away to charity. Essentially, we take our operating budget or make that, but most of the money we raise from our festivals serve playwright education and community-specific programming in the cities and the partners that we're working with. So we funded everything from artist residency programs. We funded and founded the only playwright advocacy group in Philadelphia that's completely funded by Women at Play Festival.
Wow.
We have worked to fund arts making in prisons, hunger initiatives for different communities, education initiatives, internship programming, all kinds of manner of things to do with playwrights and serving. There's this program in Minneapolis where we essentially created a commission to give a playwright a job for an entire year.
Oh, wow.
And you know, our festival funds those things via direct action. So we try to, like, in every community we work in a way that gives something back and leaves a little footprint for the community that's working with us.
Boy, this is, okay, there's so much I don't know about this. Because I am, as you know, directing 7 of the plays, and I knew so little about it because I didn't come to the last one last year. I was out of town. But so now, what really is exciting to me about this is the co-sponsoring group in whatever city you go to, you help them select how they can best use the money that is generated from the project.
It's just something like that. We partner with theaters that either are playwright specific, so they're members of the National New Play Network, or to the larger New Play Development Network in the country, community specific, like theaters that work directly with groups in the communities.
Right.
Like a Cornerstone Theater or Honolulu Theater for Youth, which we're going next, which works with the wider community to tell their stories or to engage with communities as artists. Or we work with education-specific theaters that work with youth or work with adults but have sort of an educational aim or mission. So we can identify really clearly what we can do to give back when we're asking people to come in and play with us. So we don't say yes to partnerships that are commercial. The folks that want to make money off of us or want to make money off our participants, that's never the goal.
Right.
That's why we cap it at 3 performances max. That's why we're gathering all these people to just work in a limited. They want to come in and play with us for a weekend and make a little money to serve something cool, but we're not in it to, like, sit somewhere in some community for 6 weeks and make a bunch of money or something like that. That's not what we do.
Well, you're back, so Perseverance must have been a pretty good fit.
Yeah, it's great. You know, very rarely, if ever, I can only think of maybe one time, because we're combining festivals in 2 cities, in Baltimore and DC. But I don't think we've had a partnership yet where we haven't been invited back to.
Wow.
So we're going into year 5, year 6, year 7, in New York, year 10 in certain places. So,
my gosh.
So there is a value to the work, and it says when we're able to replicate, the reason we've accumulated so many festivals is because we're wanted back every year. So it becomes a sort of rallying point for the artists and for the community to come and check in. So it's been really exciting to have the opportunity to sort of plant a seed in the first year and watch this relationship grow over several years.
Oh boy, I guess. Well, just on a personal note, what's your background? What was your job in the lively arts?
Well, I'm a director and I work in play development, so I still do that. And when the festival kind of grew up, it sort of took over my life. So I spend most of my time right now producing the festival, but when I'm not doing this, I work with several groups, including the Lark Play Development Center in New York, and work with new plays and work with playwrights a lot, either as a director, as a dramaturg, in the room, doing readings, doing workshops of plays, and then occasionally directing productions, which I used to do a lot of, but not so much in the last couple of years because I'm always on the road.
Where's the time?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
some more time.
now you've undoubtedly had some budding playwrights that have come into their own since you began this.
Oh yeah. Well, our first crop of playwrights in our very first year, we were in a little tiny theater in Brooklyn, back in 2005, when all these folks were just playwrights kicking around New York. They're all famous now.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, they're like almost. Yeah, I'd say the vast majority of the folks that were working with us that first year are very well-known playwrights by this point.
Isn't that fun?
Writing for TV or whatever. Yeah,
God,
cool.
What a thing to be able to say about an undertaking like this, that it's produced some of our great playwrights.
I don't know if I could contribute that to the festival, but I would say that it's just a matter of, you know, us working with a community that we felt passionately about, and artists who are really good, and good things happen to good people. So.
That's true. I mean, I've always, you know, the old expression, you know, talent will out. I don't depend on that expression, you know. I think it takes a certain amount of hard work, a little bit of luck, you know, but it takes things like what you guys are doing to encourage people and to show their work off, you know. It's
yeah, sometimes we've had people in our festivals over the years start theater companies that met playwrights and directors who didn't know each other that went on to make great things together, or people that have gotten married at a festival. So it's like all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. Have you been to our theater conference in Valdez?
You know, I have not, but I've always wanted to.
Dawson Moore, if you're watching this.
Dawson, hire me.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think what probably Dawson doesn't know, maybe a lot of people here, is for many years off and on, I was Edward Albee's assistant. So.
Oh, and you never came up with Edward?
No. It was like he was transitioning out of here and starting to get involved in the other festival at that point.
Oh, okay,
so,
yeah.
So I knew about the festival for many years, but I've always wanted to come to it and never been invited. So maybe that'll change.
Good. So, yeah. Well, you know, we've known Albee for so long now. You know, since '93 was, and it's a funny story because Jody McDowell, Dr. McDowell, told a bunch of us in '92 or '3. She said, you know, I'm thinking about doing a theater conference in Valdez. I'm going to invite my friend Edward Albee up, and everybody went, yeah, okay, cool, Jody. You know, and the next year, next year I rode over to Valdez and, Ron, this is Edward Albee's. Yeah, darn sure is. So here we go. Yeah, but it was what a giving man he was to us. I mean, he came up every year for that conference and just and brought all of his friends. I mean, we got to see works by and locally performed and produced and directed works by Edward, of course, Arthur Miller, I got to meet August Wilson, and hang with him a couple of years. I mean, what he did for this community, for this theater community, was it was the big thing. I mean, that conference started it all for this whole. There's always been a vibrant theater community here, but after that first year, and certainly the second year, we discovered we had literally thousands of playwrights, just out of the blue. The people started writing plays. They come back so inspired,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So you were Albee's assistant?
Yeah, off and on. His regular assistant at the time. I was an Albee Foundation playwriting fellow, I should say that, and I directed a bunch of his plays when I was young, and when his assistant, who's now married to this woman, he had this girlfriend in Europe, so you'd go to Europe for long stints, like 6 months, and I would go and do his job while he was away.
Oh, wow, that must have been
like off and on for a number of years, and going out to Montauk and being in residence at the barn, and doing all that, which was really cool.
Yeah, that must have, what a great thing.
So always had that connection to Alaska even before I came here, but so I sort of knew a little bit about what was going on here, but it was still always a lifelong dream for me to come out here, and it's been really great.
This is perfect. This is working out great then. Did you of course you met her, did you ever get to work with Marion Seldes?
I did not work with her. Well, I was working with him at the time that he had his, the Beckett Albee plays going up in New York.
Right,
and
yeah.
She was in the Beckett play, and she was in the Albee version of Counting the Ways. So I did get to know her a little bit, and she was really wonderful. She never remembered my name, but she'd always say, "Darling." She'd see me, and she would light up. And
she was so elegant.
She was so funny because she knew who she was, an ongoing sort of thing that she always knew who I was and never knew my name. So I'd walk in the room, and she would just go, "Oh."
But much too gracious to say, "Oh, and I've forgotten your name." Right?
No, totally, but she knew who I was. For
yeah,
sure.
she was. I was blessed to be able to take a master class with her, an acting class, and during the class, everybody was jealous because we finished a scene that this young woman and I and Marion came up and kissed me on the lips, and I said, "I'm never going to wash these lips again," right? But she was fun. Yeah. So, well, what a great What a great time you're having of it all. This has been fun. We better tell the people how to come and see this thing and where to get tickets.
Sure. Well, you can get tickets at the Perseverance Theater webpage, which is Josh.
PTAlaska.org.
PTAlaska.org. And the show, the second annual Alaska One Minute Play Festival in collaboration with Perseverance Theater, runs Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night here at the Performing Arts Center, 8 o'clock p.m. Don't miss this. There'll be over 80 local artists involved telling their stories and their perspectives. So please come check it out.
Well, okay, you can also go to centertix.net to get your tickets. And one thing I should say about 1 Minute Plays, do attend this thing because you're going to see just every imaginable different situation in these plays. And one of the really lovely things about it is if you don't like the play you're watching, just wait a minute.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, I always say to people, it's like throwing a bunch of stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. So what you experience, the themes and ideas you tune into might not be what the person next to you sees. So it's kind of fun to see what everyone kind of is left with at the end of it in the bigger picture.
Well, like I said, this is my first time doing this, and I'm having a ball.
Cool.
I mean, it's amazing what you can do with it with a bunch of talented actors in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me aboard, and thank you so much for your time, Dominic.
Thanks for doing it. Thanks for chatting.
And we'll see you next year.
Absolutely, I hope so.
Get out and see this thing. It's something to see.
Thanks.
Hey, Art. Sorry about that.
Hey, Art.
No worries.
How are you?
Just took an opportunity, you know.
The set looks great, man.